Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the podcast mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. My name is Phil Better. I'm the host with the most, and today I am honored to have a guy I'm going to be sharing the stage with in December, but we're going to talk about that later. But Mr. Joshua Luther. Joshua, how are you doing today?
What is going on, Phil? I am ecstatic to be here to connect with your community and have an awesome discussion with you, bro.
I'm so excited. Got to know Joshua a little bit in the chat about the event that we'll talk about later, but Joshua, I want you to give a quick introduction of yourself to my audience and how Make the Day Awesome is connected to you so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it really sounds like you want to talk about that event, and I know we're
yeah, I do. I'm so excited about it.
That's half the reason we're here. Anyway, I'm Joshua Luther. I am a digital entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, social media genius, host and founder of the Make the Day Awesome podcast. And really the whole message that we're trying to bring is hope and inspiration to people who don't know where they're going. People who are stuck in their pit and they're just looking for that little glimmer of light so that they have that hope to move forward and pull themselves out and have people around there that will help guide them along that journey.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's a message that I connect with as well, because that's why I started this podcast, to help teach people like, hey, you can become a digital entrepreneur. You don't have to do the 9 to 5. You don't have to actually hustle so hard. It's pretty simple. You can do it as a part-time and get that extra income to, relax. So that's why I love interviewing amazing people like yourself, Joshua. But Joshua, I want to go back to the beginning of life for you.
Dang.
Yeah, conception, that awkward moment. No, we're not going to go that far. No, I'm curious. Have you always been an entrepreneur in your life, or did some event happen that sparked you?
Yeah, no. So like, as I look back on the journey, I've always been a techie at heart. Like, okay. I remember when I was a kid, probably about 10 or 11, I found my mom's old Tandy computer. Right. And I remember taking it apart and trying to put it back together and whatnot. And then you fast forward a few years later, and my mom actually started working in a computer store that was supporting the schools. Like, her role was to go into the schools and, hey, look what these can do for the students. Mm-hmm. At the time, it was big word processing focus. That kind of led into all the entrepreneur journey. I built my first computer when I was 12 or so. It was about seventh or eighth grade, I remember. Somewhere in there. Anyway, box of parts showed up at my doorstep, and like, her boss knew I wanted to learn more about it. Box of parts showed up. I put together my first computer, and here I am. Young kid riding around town. I got this big old tower computer on me. I'm going around to all these little stores like, yo, y'all need this. Y'all need this in your life. Like, and that was really the start of the hustle, like the big start of the hustle. From there, it just kind of took off.
So it was just a love for taking apart computers that started your first hustle, and now here we are.
That started a lot of it. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride and a journey along the way, because, we all get into those rabbit holes.
Yeah.
One of my first real opportunities in sales was, I think I just turned 18, and I got wind that MCI was hiring, the old long distance company, before they went belly up. Dude, I'm 18, making like 80 grand a year. I didn't know what the fuck to do with myself.
Oh yeah, no.
Are we?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
We're good. Okay, cool. I didn't know what to do with myself, dude. And eventually, MCI went belly up, and that didn't last too long. But that just kind of triggered inside of me, like, this is what I need to be doing. I need to be selling. I need to be hustling. And as far as working in a corporate environment, I have a really hard time with it.
Yeah.
I do. There's structure, but it's not the kind of structure that I need.
It's
to
not
succeed.
creative structure. It's like, this is the only way you need to think type of structure. Like,
Yeah. Yep. And I'm always thinking outside of the box, which has led me into my love of funnel building and digital business cards and building that platform to help businesses embrace the technology, embrace social media, embrace the power of the internet to grow their business. Like, I just sat down with actually, no, I didn't sit down. I was at an event, right? I was at an event and I was talking with this DJ over there. Like, my table was here, his table was here, right next to me. And in between songs, or as they were playing, we would talk. And I just had this like idea, like, what if we could simplify his life? How would that look? And we got to talking about how DJs always get that line in front of them, everybody wanting to put in their requests. Well, hey, what if, you know what? Hold on. I threw 10 minutes. I threw together a funnel for them that would collect a name, an email address, a song artist, a song name, and the event name. It's like, here, start using this. And then later on, we could talk about integrating like payment options for like tips and whatnot. Like, they put in their request, it goes to a tip page, because realistically, who carries cash anymore?
yeah,
Many people. And if they do, it's like, it's either a 20 or it's a couple singles. And
yeah.
like, either
Big
way.
bills. You're carrying big bills on you
Yeah,
because everything costs big bills now.
So it was like, they put in their request, we throw them to a tip page. They can tip right there from their credit card. Most phones now auto-populate that stuff.
You can also chew it to
in.
jump your line. You know, if you want your request to play higher up on the list,
Yeah,
tip
how
a
big's the
certain
tip?
amount. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just all about problem solving. Finding those creative solutions.
You know what? You just saying that, I'm like, I know at least a dozen DJs that if I say, hey, you should try doing this, or send them your way, and they set up that funnel, boom, within minutes they have that email list, which we all know how important, as a digital entrepreneurs, we know how important an email list is.
Very much so.
I can't believe, so I have to ask you this, because obviously you're building your email list, you help other people build your email list. I've been talking to some podcasters, and I asked the question in a podcasting group, and you obviously have a podcast. I keep getting people saying the email list is dead. Like, email is dead. Do you believe email is dead for podcasters or for business owners?
No.
Why?
No. I think as long as you have the right message and the right, especially an attention grabbing headline, right? That subject line. I know when I pull up my iPhone and I'm going through my email, there's times where I open stuff from XYZ company that just because it had a headline, a subject line, that I was like, oh, what's this about? Like, you need that peak of curiosity to get it. But if you get that, people are going to open it. The other side is, if people know, like, and trust your brand, what you're about, and they want to stay up to date on you, what's going on, then they're going to open it and find out. Like, one of the things I was doing for a hot minute was putting out a weekly newsletter to my email list, all around the podcast.
Did you, I'm curious to know, like, and you don't have to get into specifics or any numbers or anything like that, but did you see an interesting correlation through downloads with the emails, or did you see an engagement increase in that?
Not per se. Not per se. I haven't grown. I don't think it's grown to that point yet where I'm seeing big numbers that I can justifiably measure.
Okay.
A little swing of 1 or 2 here and there is not going to make a huge noticeable difference. Yeah. You know, if we're talking 30 or 40 listens a day, then it's a different story. But no, I can't say at this moment that I saw it, but it was getting engagement with the tools that are available to marketers now. You can see things like where people click on the email, right? Click maps. Mm-hmm. You can track how many people open it, how many times they open it. You can collect all that data so you can see who's engaging with it. But that'll give you more opportunities to engage in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll know exactly where to put those good hook points, those click things, or what's working on all that. And obviously, you have to A/B test
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no, because I think email is still alive. Like if I look at how much just the emails that I am on, because I like to follow those emails,
Mm-hmm.
and or the podcasts that I get on their email list because I like to take a look at what they're doing because they obviously are doing something right because I know they're huge.
Yeah.
And they make their money because they're open. Like it's Tim Ferriss's email, Travis Chappell's email, John Lee Dumas is his email. They all like you see how much they make because they're open about it. So yeah, I just wanted another podcaster who isn't in the big leagues like Pat Flynn and all them, who would have a similar take on it and see what they were saying.
I honestly think it's better than wasting an opportunity, right? So what, you do it and it fails.
You learn.
You get one click out of it. You get a couple clicks out of it. How does that grow? Exponentially over time, right? Compound numbers.
That's all it is. It's just the compound effect that's going to win the day. Going back to you and your story and what you do, and obviously it is related because you are an elite marketing specialist.
Yes.
I love how you put that in your bio on that. It's awesome. But what is the why that you stay being an entrepreneur? Like what is the why? Like why are you staying being an entrepreneur? Why did you start being an entrepreneur?
Freedom. And not the freedom of, you got a ton of money and a ton of time to do whatever you want, but the freedom to operate in my own space, my best space, the creativity and the problem solving and things that corporate America doesn't allow us to fully embrace. Like I can connect with so many different people on so many different levels and help them solve problems. And when I'm helping solve those problems, it's giving me what I need, right? It's feeding me. So having that flexibility to help these people and make these connections, that's really what it's all about. And eventually time freedom will come, money freedom. It is what it is. But that's the end goal. It's freedom.
I love it. I love it. You know what's funny? It's reminiscent to the interview that we just posted on the show. Not now. When people are listening to it, they will hear because this is the episode right after them. So the previous one with Chris Williams of Group Coaching Nation, amazing guy who does masterminds. He has one tattoo on his body that's freedom. Or free, and it's the exact same thing, the freedom to do what I want, like just be able to try things that I want. And I love how it's you're the exact same way. You're doing freedom because you want to do what you want to do, study what you want, learn what you want, and all that fun stuff. And you know that it eventually will come, the money will be coming, and that will give you the additional freedom to do the events and things that you want. But right now you're learning what you want, and you're doing an amazing job of it because you're on the Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast, an award-winning podcast, I may say. But enough about me. This is all about you
now.
Yeah, that's in the bio. Yeah, it's award-winning. Since we're doing a talk, we're going to talk about the talk, or the reason we're connected, because that is a major hat in your hat, a major feather in your hat, because you helped build the funnel, which is something you do. For our good friend Kyle Slaymaker. How about you talk a bit about the event, since you know slightly more than I do?
All right, so we are hosting a mastermind event in Las Vegas, December 2nd and 3rd of 2022. It's going to be hosted at the Hilton Garden in South Strip. We're only inviting 100 people in.
Yeah.
Right. Only 100 people. It's going to be very exclusive,
massive
very limited.
Exclusivity.
Yes. We're going to have some amazing speakers. I mean, Phil, you're one of our speakers. You're going to be speaking on podcast and branding. And we got Kyle Slaymaker, who is an entrepreneur and business development coach.
Two-time best-selling. He's a two-time best-selling author. Yeah. Don't forget about that.
No, I can't forget about all that. Dang it. Now you're going to make me go pull up all my details.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. We gotta highlight them. And actually, the
man.
next couple episodes actually in this season is from other speakers because I want to highlight how amazing you guys are. You're not only like we have to shout out you, Joshua. You're going to be talking. You had an amazing idea too. As I do the talking,
die to put that together.
Oh, dude, I'm willing to be
this thing a second to load.
Yeah, I'm willing to be the sacrificial person who we try it on if you want. Like, I have no problem. If we can pull that off, man, that would be so amazing. Yeah.
So I priced out the LED wall already. It's like $6,000 alone.
Yeah, no, okay, it's not happening. Not this one. Not this event. Not this event.
Projectors and a screen, maybe, but it's not how I envision it. The trapdoor on the stage where you just drop through.
I just drop into the LED screen.
Phil just disappeared.
Yeah, poof, poof, he's on this. He's banging on the door. What's going on?
Let's see how much of this loaded. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's my buggy connection. All right, so we got Kyle Slaymaker, U.S. Navy veteran, 2-time Selling Best author. He was featured in Selling Power, and he's a globally recognized business coach. Right, he's the host of this event. The Slaymaker Method is putting this event on that I will be emceeing. Phil, executive producer of 20 plus podcasts, host of his own award-winning podcast. Come on, big dog.
Yeah,
he's grown and monetized over 100 other podcasters, and has done over 300 entrepreneur-based interviews.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of interviews, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot of interviews.
We're
going to have fitness and wellness coach Miranda Jeggins, transformational coach. She's an entrepreneur. She's an NPC bodybuilder. She's focused on women in business empowerment. Amazing. Nell Tice, entrepreneur, best-selling author, symmetry coach, host of her own What the Nell podcast.
Mm-hmm. Great podcast.
You see it? You see a trend here? A lot of podcasts going on. Sonia Ray, owner of Authentic Closer, published author, real estate sales coach. In 2021, she closed over $1.5 million in single family residence.
Damn, that's
amazing. Right. Like, damn, I need to get into like
real estate.
Real
estate's where the big money is, but it's a lot of fucking hustle. It's a lot of hustle.
Oh, man, it is. And then Jerry Schreifels, one of my homeboys, international music producer, best-selling author, just dropped his book Road to 99.
Yeah.
Business and executive coach, and then nationally toured. I mean, dude, this lineup is phenomenal. And the best part is this isn't all of it.
No, we have.
There's going to be more speakers brought in. Huh?
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be frigging amazing.
It's going to be a blast. And if people miss out on this opportunity, they're doing themselves a disservice.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. The knowledge in this room alone between marketing and business development and life development. And I think that's kind of where I found my niche in this group was the business and life development side. Right. Yeah. If you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of go back a little bit here. A year and a half ago, my life was not like this. A year and a half ago, I was freaking out. Actually, it was February of 2021. I had a moment in my truck where I didn't necessarily want to disappear, if you get my drift, but I wanted to put my body into immense harm that because physical pain I could tolerate, I can forget about, like I can dissipate.
I can deal with that.
I can deal with that. I can't deal with everything that was going on up here. So that led to this journey where a good friend of mine says, when was the last time you did something for yourself? When was the last time you took care of you? Because I was focused on pleasing everybody else. And that started the connection with the right people and being in the right network and opening up and sharing my message and my story. And that's how the Make the Day Awesome podcast happened. As I started going through this journey and learning more about myself, I wanted to share these messages, these lessons that I learned over it with people out there who are experiencing these same problems and they feel like they have nowhere to turn.
I love it. It's reminiscent of everything I talk with every entrepreneur I've done. The 300 interviews I've done, it all comes back to the gift that you have to share. So you were going through something, you got a gift because you went through that experience, and now you're sharing it with your podcast, on your podcast, through your business, helping people out so that they can take your experience and not go through the hustle and go through the pain that's not always necessary. It's not always necessary because sometimes we can get that helping hand and we can avoid it. It's going to hurt a little less, you know, but it's not going to be as impactful because we know, okay, he went through the exact same thing I went through, or she did, or they did, or whoever, and they got it to the other side. I know I can make it because, well, if they did it, I can do it, you know?
Yeah. And it's not you got to start putting the puzzle together, right? And we get pieces from everywhere in our journey. You know, I might teach you something, Phil, you might teach somebody something. And as you start to put all these puzzle pieces together, you see the picture start to form. And that's when you find that piece that you're looking for inside. And I tell you what, I never would have thought doing 10 or 20 Zoom calls a day would be a fun thing, but I really enjoy connecting with people.
Oh, it's the best. When I get so I give away 15 minutes of my time usually on Tuesdays to digital entrepreneurs or podcasters or anybody to help them grow their show because I want to help them. And when they get on the show and I just sit and talk with them like 15 minutes, boom, I'm like, okay, I have this question, boom, they answer. I'm like, okay, have you tried this? No, okay, let's do this, boom. And they just sit there, they're taking notes and they're just like, wow, that's amazing. Like, how did you think about it? I'm like, you're so stuck on your, like right at the tree, you can't see the forest or the path out of the forest. That's what it is. And I understand it because when I was doing my first podcast, I was stuck like that too. Because I thought I had to do it all myself. I didn't realize I can go and get help from other people and see how other people are doing it and take what I like and discard what I don't.
That's it. Find out what works for you. Even on the content creation side, like people I talk to, one of the biggest complaints that I hear in social media world is that people don't know what content to make.
Oh God. Yeah. I wanted to have a tip about that since you are a marketing specialist with the content creation. Let's this be your tip, sharing it with my audience. What's the tip you got for what's to make?
So actually this part of this came from my mentor that I follow, but he always says that nothing is new. There's no new idea. There's nothing new. It's just different ways to look at it, right? You go through XYZ problem, right? And let's just say XYZ problem has the name of John. I go through same XYZ problem, but my problem is named Mark. It's the same problem. It's just different situation. So much like getting back to content creation, a lot of these ideas, they're not new. If you are in that block, if you're stuck and you don't know what to write about, open up a book, listen to a podcast, jump on YouTube, find something that you can connect with, take a lesson from it, and share it in your own way. Share it in your own story. Attach something from your life that makes it real and produce that content. It's the easiest hack you can ever have to producing content.
Freaking right there. That's worth $1 million right there. That's worth the price of admission to the Slay Your Life event. Tickets will be in the link down below in the show notes.
Yes, they will be.
Very smooth transition over there. I want to know your favorite moment in your journey so far as an entrepreneur. What's been your favorite moment?
Realizing that I'm not alone.
Ooh, I like that. Why is that your favorite moment?
Well, for me, it did feel like I was alone a lot of times, right? I have always even when I was little, I've always had these big hopes, big dreams, big aspirations. Like running around telling my mom, I'm going to live in a mansion. I'm going to have the Lamborghini and mentality. And as I grew up, that was chastised. And a lot of us hear that chastise in our journey. Like, no, you need to come back down to reality. You need to be normal.
Be realistic.
Right? Yeah, be realistic. We hear that a lot. So I put on a mask. And I started selling myself short. And shorter and shorter and shorter. Until eventually I didn't know who I was. And then the first real flip was 2021. I went to a huge event in Dallas. And honestly, that event, I was still timid and cold and like, I was still in that in-between space, right? But then some amazing speakers got on stage and started sharing their message. One of them was Billie Jean Does Marketing, right? He got on stage. He has some video clips to go along with his message. And dude, if it wasn't everything I was going through, but in my own, right? That Mark versus John, in my own way. And I left that room. I hunkered in a corner, dude. I was like, it was bad because all these flashbacks started happening of everything over the last couple years. And it hurt. It hurt. I'm going to be real with it. And then a few guys came around, got around, started talking to me. We ended up going back in. I finished that out. Steve Weatherford gets on stage at the end of the 2-day event, starts giving his testimony. And I'm like, shit. Like, if this doesn't sound like exactly some of the stuff that I face going through. And it all kind of started to click. Like, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. These people that are up here are doing amazing things, big things. And they face the same shit that I did. What's stopping me? Why can't I have all this? And that was the most amazing experience out of all of it, is that connection saying, hey, wait a minute, you can do this. You just got to get away from all this.
Freaking love it. Oh, it's an amazing, like freaking poignant. Like I just wrote it down, clip it. I'm clipping that because that's like a soundbite for this episode, man. It's you can feel the emotion. You can feel how life-changing it was for you. And I love that you just shared that with us.
I'm gonna give a shout out here real quick. I am eternally grateful for my friend and brother who made me pull the trigger on going to that event. My boy Jamie Hyde.
Jamie, thank you very much, because this conversation wouldn't be happening. This wouldn't be affecting someone who's listening to my podcast, who's like, damn it, I'm in the same spot. You're doing the exact same thing that those people on stage did to you back in 2021.
That's it.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's all about the hope and the inspiration. You know, it's not rah-rah, it's not your head with good stuff that's going to go away. No, like, we've been through some shit. We've seen some shit. I will share those moments with you if you take the lesson that comes along with it.
Yeah. All right, we're coming up to near the end of the episode, and I hate this because I'm loving talking with you. I'm looking so forward to being in Vegas with you and just like being able to just chat one-on-one, man, and just get really deep. But I do want to know, because this podcast is for people who are looking to become entrepreneurs, those digital nomadic lifestyles, and that those people, what book, because I love books, I love reading, I think there are a gold mine. What book do you suggest to our digital entrepreneurs to pick up so that they can start their journey?
I think one of my hands down favorite books is Unfuck Your Business by Thomas Keenan. It really it really dives into core values and the importance of them in your business. And any business owner, entrepreneur wants to eventually grow and scale. There's certain things that you need to have in place before you do that. And that's a great starting point, is set that stuff up early and live by them.
I love it. I love it. And definitely going to be picking up that book. All right. So I'm jumping off the stage here, Joshua. I'm going to give it to you. I want you to let my audience know where they can find you, where they can follow you, how they can support you. So, sir, the floor is yours.
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook at The Real Joshua Luther. Same with Instagram, therealjoshualuther.com. We can connect there as well. Podcast, Apple, Spotify. Tell Alexa, play the Make the Day Awesome podcast. It all works. Find us there. Send a message, send an email, info@therealJoshuaLuther. I'd love to connect with you and see where we can go from there.
Awesome. My man, Joshua,
Thanks,
thank
bro.
you so much again for being an amazing guest. And of course, people, if you want to, ladies and gentlemen, humans of all kinds, you are listening. The show notes will have all the links to Joshua's stuff. I want to thank Joshua again for being an awesome guest here and sharing so many intimate, if you will, advice and stories, and just being an awesome guy. Thank you so much. And it's true, you do make the day awesome. So thank you for that.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you having me on here, dude. You're an awesome host. And
thank you. Always second guess myself as a host, but it's nice to know I'm getting that love. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to always invest in yourself, and I wish you all a great day.